What's up, YouTube? I figured today I would do a video on microworms. I feed my babies the microworms, and we've got some in this here. This is a culture I've had running for about 2 weeks now. It's getting old, starting to smell a little bad. So I was going to mix up a new batch, and I figured why not make a video of it and show everybody else. The cultures you can get fairly easy. Some pet stores will have them. I had to order mine online. I've ordered them online. I've got them from fellow fish keepers and off the forum, off of our community here in Virginia. I can give this away to anybody local, really. I mean, I could ship it to people, but it's pretty easy to get. I wouldn't go shipping for it. I mean, you just have to ask around. But basically, all you need is like a jar, some yeast, some active yeast, some oats. I mean, pretty cheap stuff. I mean, this can was probably like $2, $3. I don't really eat oatmeal, so it just goes to this stuff. Even if you don't have babies, it's good to keep this stuff around because it's so cheap to keep alive. This packet's about less than $1. I think I paid 70 cents for it. Some tank water, and that's about it. And your culture, your starter culture. I'm going to try to do this all one-handed, so bear with me, guys. Actually, first what I'll do is show you how I feed them. So I'm going to set this down. Maybe I can get a good sight of the worms in here for you guys. I can hold it up in the light possibly. All that along the wall there are microworms, and they're crawling. Doesn't look like it on tape. I'm not sure if you can see all that. But what I'll do is I'll swipe my finger along the inside there, and they'll be all over my finger, and once I put them in the tank they start swarming. I'll show you in just a second. Alright, easy to get like this white foamy type stuff on your hand here, and they're moving. If you look at it in the light, I can't really get a good shot on it, but it looks like it's foam in there. But yeah, they're all moving. What I'll do is I'll just take my finger here in my fry tank, and you'll see here, swash a little around there, and well, there's a whole butt ton of them right there. And sooner or later they'll just start getting it. They'll last up to 2 days underwater. After that they die. It's a good way to feed fry, especially if you're not home. I work daily, so I can't be here to feed them small amounts 10 times a day. So microworms is what it is. I usually have 2 cultures going at once because I have more than one type of fry, and usually this will give you enough for a tank depending on the size of your jar and how quick they multiply. But usually you need about a cup, half a cup to a cup of oatmeal. Let's pour that in there. Shook the camera, not the can. Put a little bit of water in there. Grab a spoon. And what I'll do is just mix this stuff up to about peanut butter consistency. You don't really want it too soupy. This batch here has just gone soupy from sitting around. It's pretty old. I don't like to add anything to it. I just let it sit. After about a day or two, sometimes I'll add water to them. Best thing I do is try to run it all along the side to get that liquid there along the sides, and then let it sit. I put it under one of my fish tanks in the dark, let it go. The next day you'll see them all crawl up to where that water line was on the side of your jar. This here, it's about the right consistency. So what I'll do is, this old one, and mix it up a little bit. The water started to get there on the top. I'll just take a nice scoop of this, throw it in the new stuff. Mix her in. You don't want too much of this in there because it is going sour. But you need to transfer some worms in there. As long as you get a couple in there, you'll be fine. Might take a day or two to see them really start crawling up the sides there. And once you do that, there's two options you can do here. You can either put the yeast in there, or put a couple more oats in there. It's a little watery. Or you can stick a piece of bread in here. Also, transferring them, you can take a piece of bread, like a piece of wheat bread, the end that most people don't eat. I do, but you know, take a piece of the crust, throw it right in your old culture. This one, you throw it in there, and they'll start feeding on it, and they'll be all over that piece of bread. So when you do make your new one, you just take your spoon, get that little piece of bread out, throw it in, and you know, mix it into the new culture, and they'll multiply that way. All right, this one's a little bit better. So let's get a little bit of this yeast here. You don't need much. This is just their food. This is what they feed off of, and I'll just sprinkle a little bit in there. And get a little bit more. There you go. Get the bag. And put it towards the center there. Get a good shot of it. You got yeast. Right in the center, you've got the oat, the culture, a little bit of tank water. Don't use tap water. Use the tank water. They say that they could die off the chlorine, I guess, in the tap. Use that, and make sure your lid has holes in it. You don't want too big of holes because you'll get fruit flies. You just want it to be able to breathe, and you don't want it to evap too quick. So just take the lid, put it on there. This one here, I might get a day out of it again. It's kind of risky, but I will keep it in there just in case something goes wrong with this culture, but nothing will. But it might take a day for this to actually jump start and produce the amount of worms this one's producing on a daily basis. So there it is, microworms, really easy, great food for especially smaller fry. I've used it for all of my fry, haven't had any problem. They usually eat beta fry, love it. Convicts, Jack Dempsey's, Crebensis, all the African cichlids, keyholes. I mean, almost every fish that I've bred, guppies, betas, all of them will eat this stuff, especially the smaller ones that don't have big mouths. So there you go, guys.